All right, we're going to turn now to an emotional story of resilience, of hope, and finding light in life following personal loss.
Yeah, she is the author of The Other Side of Yet. The book explores surviving just the unimaginable. Just hours after their divorce was finalized, her 7-year-old daughter, Gabrielle, was killed by her estranged husband. She is here now in studio with us to tell us how faith fueled her recovery and helped her heal. Michelle Hord, it is good to have you here in studio. I know this is now 5 years ago that your daughter passed. And you walk in and you just have a light and an energy and a smile on your face, but I still can't help 5 years later. I just want to ask, how are you doing?
Every day is still different. You know, this happened on a Tuesday, and I count Tuesdays, and I thought it was perhaps no accident that the book would be released on a Tuesday. So today's 221 Tuesdays. So there isn't a minute that goes by where I'm not acutely aware of her absence and of her presence. And, you know, I try to talk about that in the book, just holding on, having a defiant faith that says, in spite of the darkness, I'm going to try to find light.
Michelle, I know part of your mission is to keep Gabrielle alive, to keep her spirit alive, to keep her energy in the world, and you write so beautifully about her. So tell us about Gabrielle.
Yes. My daughter was not a wilting flower. From the day she was born, she was bubbly, effervescent. If you see video or pictures, she looks like she's jumping out of the screen. But the thing I think I'm probably most proud of was she was a caring, kind little girl. And after her passing, I got notes from her second-grade classmates saying Gabrielle was the first person to grab me off the buddy bench, or to give me somewhere to sit during lunch, or my first friend in Girl Scouts. So when you hear that about a 7-year-old doesn't come home from school and say, "Hey, Mom, I stopped a bully today," right? So it really lent itself to why it was so important to me that her legacy be so much bigger than what happened to her.
And these are such incredibly powerful words. For those out there who are dealing with grief, do you have any advice that you can give them?
I do. You know, I think that grief comes in all forms. There's a horrific loss like this that fortunately most people don't have to deal with. And then there is loss of jobs, there's loss of fertility expectations. So we all grieve at some point. And I call it spirit, to keep your spirit. So S, survive. Some days that's getting out of bed, sometimes that may be staying in bed. You know, you also want to praise. So S is survive, P is for praise. So that doesn't mean a religious thing necessarily. Gratitude, right? Like, how can you be thankful even in the midst of what you're going through, looking for gratitude? Impact, make an impact on other people's lives. You don't have to start a foundation. You can cook dinner for an elderly neighbor. But when you get outside of yourself, even in those moments, it makes such a difference and gives you such perspective. And then we talk about reflecting. And, you know, one of the chapters in my book is going back and talking about losing my mom in her early 20s. And how I was able to, while it was a very different loss, hold on to some of that learning so that I could keep going now. Imagine a life beyond where you are. That's the other side of Yet. And then tell your story, testify. You'd be surprised how it can help people.
You mentioned praise in there. You said it doesn't have to be faith-based, but you are a religious person. And you talked about you've dealt with loss, your mother and grandmother. But you also call faith an insurance policy. What do you mean?
Well, for all those months and years that we pay companies I won't name here for promotional reasons, when you have that car accident and your deductible is met, there's a different type of confidence and trust. And I grew up in the Baptist church. My grandfather was a Baptist minister. So some things were almost osmosis. You know, you just take it in. But it wasn't until my mother died that I realized I had something to hold on to bigger than myself, bigger than the impermanence of this world, and that was what was going to sustain me.
I love you actually have a physical reminder of Gabrielle and her charity and her kindness. I know you have a buddy bench set up. You have a whole playground dedicated to her. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So one of the first projects Gabrielle's Wings did, which is our nonprofit fund, was worked with a private donor to do a $250,000 playground. And it's for children of all abilities. So whether there are, you know, emotional or mental or physical abilities that are different, there's something for for all children there, including buddy benches.
Michelle?
Yes, Gabrielle's Playground.
It is unimaginable, but to see you here, and like you said, the journey continues for you, but you just walk in, you just have a light and an energy and a glow, and everybody in here can feel it when you walk into the room. So thank you, congrats really on the book and for where you are and how far you've come. So it's so good to have you in studio.
Thank you so much.
Folks, The Other Side of Yet is available. You can pick it up wherever books are sold.
Yes, you are a true inspiration. Thank you for being here today.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.